morning, good morning, good morning, good people. My camera was being weird. I've been here. Y'all know. I try not to be this late. But I was in the studio and my camera wasn't working. I had to figure that out. And y'all know I have no technical leads savvy at all. At all. I can turn my computer on and I can turn it off. So if I gotta do anything else, it's a problem. And my camera wasn't working and I had to figure it out. I had to chat GBT it. But I got it. I'm here. Hi, True Crime Fangirl. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Destined to Be. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Jen. Hi, Weird Girl. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I wasn't even going to do... Thank you, Sarah. Good morning. I wasn't even going to do a live today. But then I saw the hearing with Karen Reed, and I thought, somebody has to be the voice of reason. Listen, Peggy. I don't know if you'll ever see this ever, but maybe somebody somewhere will find a clip. Somebody somewhere will find this clip, and they'll send it to you, and it will be the voice of reason you need in your life. I understand. Okay, I understand that you lost your son in a most egregious and terrible way. And we all feel for you. But Miss Peg, go to bed. Go to bed. The level of delusion this family must have, it must just be an echo chamber of delusion every time they go in the house. Do you think they sell that level of delusion on Amazon? Do you think it's a shot? Do you know how amazing your life has to be to just live in a world of delusion every day, to just have it be where you just think what you think and you think it's true, and nobody anywhere, with no matter how much evidence, no matter how much anything comes to your face, you can just be like, so I mean, I want to buy just a piece of that delusion, because what are you doing? First of all, how old is Peg? She gotta be in her 70s. Good morning, Geniality. She gotta be in her 70s. Yes, Peg gotta be in her 70s. Do you know how long a civil trial can take? And now that Karen very smartly, in my opinion, wants to add 10 other folk, do you know how long this civil trial can last? Because you don't have no right to no speedy trial. You don't have a right to anything. Nobody's life, liberty, or anything is at stake. So they can drag this out for 10 years. And all of Karen lawyers are so committed to the cause, and maybe a little committed to the media attention, that they're all doing it for free. Your lawyer, I'm sure, is working on contingency, which means after the shit get a little too expensive and it looks like we're never going to find a resolution, they're going to be like, ma'am, we're going to have to call it a wash. Because what is your complaint? I understand that she thinks, I think the niece is a part of the echo chamber as well. Ain't so plain, Jane. It's just a big silver bowl in that house where everything they say just circles around, and they hear the same shit over and over and over and over and over again with no voice of reason. Because if there was any voice of reason in the house, they would say, look, John is gone. We have had 2 trials. She was found not guilty. Let's let it rest. Let's let that man rest in peace. Because now that she has added all 10 of those people, or wants to add all 10 of those people, this trial could go on forever. Do you know how many people they got to depo? Do you know how many? That's the thing with civil trials. You got depositions, but you know what? Selfishly, this is very selfish. I am aware, because I don't have the delusions that Peg and family have. I am aware that this is a very selfish thing that I want, but do you know that I would pay actual American doll hairs to see the deposition of Jen McCabe and Brian Albert and Michael Proctor? Because they don't have the luxury or the protection of Kim Jong-un in a deposition. They have to answer whatever question I ask you. You don't get to play in La La Land like you did and wait and look up at the prosecutor or look up at the judge and wait for them to object for you. Oh, I would pay big money, but that's very selfish of me. I understand that that's very selfish of me. Logically, I don't understand these people. And poor Karen, I'm telling y'all, listen, that woman has the patience of the saint. That woman has the patience of a saint, because I tell y'all all the time, I don't have the professionalism nor the decorum. Diddy, Ellie, I don't have the professionalism nor the decorum that I should have at my big age. Every time I had to go to court, I would stand on the courthouse steps with the biggest of press conferences, and I would say, I cannot believe these raggedy bitches got me back in here. I would be so disrespectful at this point because y'all are not letting me sleep. Now, I think what they think is that because the burden of proof is lower in the civil case, they think that they can get over the 51% mark. But the question is, why do you think that? Why do you think that? I understand that all you need is 51%. All you needed to be is, well, she could have, probably more likely than not. But you don't even have that. What you have is multiple medical examiners saying there is no proof of a collision. And also, now I would go get that little dingbat from Aperture. Because remember him? Well, we didn't have any x-rays. Because they said, well, wouldn't there be some type of little fracture? Well, we didn't have any x-rays. I would make him now be a defense witness and say, listen, remember when you had said that there would be at least some type of little fracture and you didn't have no x-rays? What you think now? There is no evidence of a collision. Alan Jackson could give his closing argument verbatim in a civil trial, and ma'am, you get nothing, and you're wasting years of your life when you need to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy, and that niece is very strange. And I try to give her a little bit of grace, even though I don't think she's a child anymore. So I really don't have to. Because if she was 14 back then, it's been about 4 years. Good morning, Scorpio. It's Libra season and both my babies are Libra, so I celebrate both. But that Scorpio wind is a-blowing, and I can't wait. That niece is very strange to me because from what I remember in both trials is that Karen was really involved with those kids. Like, Karen would do shit for you that John told her not to do. Buy you expensive shit, take you for coffee in the morning, like really be there for you. So for you to just flip on her is crazy to me. But I have to understand how children are easily brainwashed by shit they see every day, they see and hear every day. And if they in the bowl, the echo chamber bowl that is the O'Keefe residence, then they honestly have been brainwashed to believe that Karen did this, even though it makes no sense. I want the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future to come visit Peg in her sleep tonight. And I want it to take her to the McCabe and Albert homes and just hear them talk shit about John and how they're going to cover this up. Like, I really want her to get some, I want her to have peace. Because, again, I understand. You lost your daughter and then you lost your son. I get it. You want to blame somebody. You want to blame somebody. I just can't believe that, okay, even if she believes Karen hit him, you don't even have a side eye for Jen and Brian Albert. Like, you don't even have a small, I mean, I think she did it, but got my eye on you. You absolutely think they had absolutely nothing to do with it? What are they telling that lady? What are they telling that lady? Because I feel like even if I could believe that Karen hit John, I still would have a bombastic side eye for the rest of them. Like, I just don't understand. Exactly, Crystal. Like, I would be up in Proctor's hearing to get reinstated and be like, no, fuck him. He don't need to get reinstated. He's the reason I don't know what happened to my son. Like, why are you only mad at Karen? Because even if Karen hit him, you're going to have to explain those scratches on his arm that nobody can ever make me believe are not dog scratches. Even if she hit him, something else happened afterwards that all of the people in that house know about. So you're going to have to make that make sense for you, or do you care? You have laser focus on Karen, and it feels like you never liked Karen. And so this was just your reason to hate her now. Like, it's easy for you to believe whatever they're telling you about her because you never liked her. Which, why didn't you ever like her? It seemed like Karen was doing really well for herself. She was a single woman. She was very cute. She had her own money. What the fuck was your problem with her? I'm sure she does want money. And because here's another thing. How are you suing the bars? What are you suing the bars for? I feel like the bars is the real ones who should be asking for a dismissal. Because what is your claim against us? That we made her too drunk? Okay, well, everybody in her criminal trial said she did not look drunk at all. So what the fuck you want me to do? What you want me to do? The only way I can tell somebody is drunk if I'm serving them liquor at a bar is if they're behaving drunk. And everybody who testified had to admit that she did not appear drunk at all. Also, she had all type of cops, detectives, and federal agents with her who let her get behind the wheel of a car. So they obviously didn't think she was drunk. Why is we here? Why is we here? Get me out of here. We don't know. Don't try to listen. Back up. If I was McCarthy and what's the other one, the waterfall, back up off me. I don't got nothing to do with this. I don't got nothing to do with this. That lady seemed completely sober to me, the same way she seemed completely sober to everybody else. All of whom were cops. If she was pissy drunk and about to kill herself, I'm sure one of them would have said something. You just grasping at all the straws when everybody who's not involved in that. Because here's the thing: if you really gave a fuck about John, if this was not about money, you would have sued everybody. I don't give a damn who y'all decide did it, but I'm suing everybody. You would have sued Karen, Brian, Nicole, Jen, Matt, Colin, Michael Proctor, Yuri Buchanan. I'm suing everybody. I don't care where the ball sticks. I don't care where the ball sticks. The jury gonna believe one of you motherfuckers did it. I don't know who, and I don't care who. The jury gonna believe one of you motherfuckers did it. Because what do you mean? Oh, that's not the line. Peggy is straight up evil, bringing the niece into the case. IIED and IED cases mean the defense can get all the plaintiff's mental health records. That's very true. And I noticed that they switched. It feels like Peg's lawyer switched after hearing what the defense, what part of the defense was going to be to those claims, because the defense wants to drop that claim and just have a wrongful death action. And I noticed that as he said that argument, they went from intentional infliction of emotional distress to NEID. And I'm like, where is the negligence? Because they had to remove intentional, because how are you going to improve? You have to prove that she killed them on purpose to prove intentional infliction, which you're not going to do. So you moved it over to negligent infliction. What are you saying was negligent about what she did? What are you saying is negligent about what she did? It's just, ma'am, go to bed. You have to let this go. You have to let this go. I understand wanting somebody to pay. That's why I don't understand why you're only suing Karen. Like, you really believe that only Karen had anything to do with this? That, I think that is what's boggling my mind. That is where I can't get past not even having much. I mean, I have sympathy for her. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say I don't have sympathy for her. I do. She lost her son. She lost her daughter. I have sympathy for any mother that has to go through that. But I have this little chip on my shoulder that I can't get past, because you really believe it was only Karen. You really believe every single person walked out of that house with a cat's track of snow and nobody saw this body? You just disregarded all of Lucky Lawford's testimony, that there was nothing there. You just don't I just don't understand. I just don't understand. My logical brain won't let me, which is why I need to know, where do they sell this delusion? Do they sell it on Amazon? Because there are some things in my life where I need that level of delusion to just overcome me. But the logic always beats it up. And I just want a little piece. Can you take it in the pill? Can you take it in the pill? Is he doing this for publicity, Just Joe? He has to be, right? Because I talked to 3 of my friends yesterday who are lawyers, who are like personal injury lawyers, but same shit, civil lawyers. And they're like, I wouldn't have taken this case for the simple fact of how long it's going to take. And you weigh your odds, right? As a civil lawyer who works on contingency, meaning I only get paid if I win. I only get paid if I win. You try to take care of cases you know you're going to get in and get out. Or if it's going to take years, the payday is going to be substantial. I don't feel like this is going to be either of those. They're hoping for 2027 trial dates. That's the hope. But if you add 10 other defendants, they can put in motions that pause everything too. It just is like, are you that? It has to be a publicity thing. Because I don't think as a lawyer you take this case. I think you say, listen, ma'am. Or you take this case and sue everybody. You take this case and sue everybody. Listen, I know you only mad at Karen, but I think we have a better chance of a payout if we add every single one of them motherfuckers. The jury's gonna believe one of them bastards had something to do with it. Girl. And then his brother sitting there, and it's so hard for me, because I try to keep in things I have to say about his family, because at the end of the day, at the very end of the day, they are grieving, right? They are grieving. So I try to not be mean or rude or just disrespectful to them, because they are grieving and people do crazy things in grief. But that brother sitting there with that smug little face on yesterday, I was just like, Jesus is on the main line. Tell him what you want. Because y'all really believe, like, just seeing him look there with that smug little smirk. This isn't about, like, I want to think it's about money. But then again, it's like, is it about the money? Or do y'all really hate this woman that much that y'all just want to just drag her every single chance y'all get? Y'all just never want her to have a moment's peace. I feel like that's all it could be. Y'all just never want her to have a moment's peace, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Everybody needs to just move on. Everybody just needs to move on. And I know that can be hard. This was your son. This was your uncle. This was your brother. But listening to two trials, and still believing that Karen is the one and only sole culprit. I need that in appeal. I need that delusion in appeal. I need. You know what? This is correct, Ellie. This is correct. Grieving, yes, but years of getting slapped in the face with facts. Gotta draw the line somewhere. If she wasn't buddy with the real guilty people, maybe I feel different. But this is wrong. That is what it is. I think you're just so much more eloquent than me, Ellie. That's what it is. That's why I can't really jump over the hump of, like, I have empathy, but there's something in the way that's blocking me from feeling completely sorry for her. And I think that's the hump that I can't get over. The fact that you're still talking to the people that quite literally are guilty. And even if you believe Karen did something to him, even if you believe Karen hit him, there is no way you believe these people had absolutely nothing to do with anything. And because you do, or because you're pretending you do, I can't get past that wall I have, because it feels like you know, because you have to know, because anybody with the brain cells of a gnat knows that these people had something to do with something, because the butt dials, the deleting the picture after I send it, she's telling them everything. Like, you just hear all of that and just think these people are what? What do you think? What do you think? That's the deposition I want. I want them to put Peg on the stand, and I want them to ask her, so you've seen the butt dials, right? You've seen the Sally Port video. You've seen the calls back and forth. You've listened to the text messages back and forth. What do you think that all is? What do you think that all is? And isn't it true that none of these people came to John's funeral? What do you think that all is? What do you? Oh, yes. And you are right, Beth and May. I was working while I was listening to the hearing, and I missed where they said they were going to call him JJ. And so when he kept saying, I said, who the fuck is JJ? What are you talking about? So then I rewinded, and I realized that y'all are calling this big grown 40-year-old man JJ. Get off my nerves. Try not to piss me off. Try not to piss me off. You are not about to infantilize this big grown ass man. Try not to piss me off. JJ and J. Shut. His name is John O'Keefe, and you're gonna call him such? Or you can just say the decedent. I don't know what to tell you, but try not to piss me off. I was so annoyed when I went back and realized that they were talking about John. I was so annoyed. I was like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. I just want that level of delusion in a small little pill. Just a pill that I can take whenever I feel like not worrying about the evidence of the world. When I don't don't want to worry about the science of facts and shit. I just want to be able to pop a pill and live in my own land of delusion. Because what do you think all of that is? What do you think all of that is? You just think these people are what? Just completely careless with their phones? And we ain't gonna get to the fact that they got rid of their phones, both Higgins and Albert. Just completely throw them bitches away. Whatever's in them, we don't want nobody to ever see. You know what destined to be? Clock it. Clock it. Clock it. Maybe delusion only belongs to white women of a certain age. I don't know. Because Donna, girl, you can let it go too. You might as well get comfortable. Get comfortable. She really thinks that a new trial is going to be different for her. Girl. Girl, we don't care what the jurors were doing. Every juror is going to find you guilty, Miss Adelson. Just get comfortable. Learn how to knit. I don't know what to tell you, but you ain't getting out of prison. This is very true. I just want to know, are you born with it? Is it Maybelline? How do you get that type of delusion? Because I want some. Just a little bit. Not a lot. I don't want to live in that level of delusion that they got going on, but just a little bit for here, here and there. Just like when I look at the Louis purse and I be like, I can't afford that. I want that. I want to take my delusion pill and be like, well, lights ain't got to get paid this month. That level of delusion. Not a whole bunch, just a little bit. Because what? Is it illusion or is it audacity? Is it delusion or audacity? I think it's a mixture of both. And they're like bred with it. Because there's no way any of them mother effers would ever speak to me again. Because in my mind, Peg hates Karen. She was always going to believe Karen had something to do with it. Let's just give her that. She was always going to believe Karen had something to do with it. Okay, Peg, we'll give you that. I would be like, if I was Peg, this is me as Peg. That bitch probably hit him. But the motherfuckers, they know something. They know something. And they not telling me. Add all of them to this shit. Like, don't come sit next to me. Don't come calling me. The fact that Peg was one of the people that Jim McCabe called after the FBI walked up to her. You're still in common contact with these people? You're still in common contact where she can call you and ask you, hey, did the FBI come speak to you? Because if I was saying, I'd be like, no, they didn't, bitch, but why they at your house? Tell me something I don't know. A level of delusion that just gives me a sense of peace when I'm making really ridiculous decisions. Looking at Jim McCabe on the stand the first time, and then looking at her on the stage the second time would have been all the evidence for me as a mother of someone who was killed to be like, oh no, this bitch got something to do with it. Oh no, this bitch knows something. Something is weird. Something is strange. Looking at the prosecutor decide, I'm not going to call the rest of them motherfuckers because it sounds fishy, would have me believe, why didn't he want to call y'all? Why didn't he want to call y'all? Very strange. Very strange. What did he think y'all were going to say? Very strange. I would at least have some questions for these people after the trial. So tell me what really happened with the butt dials. Why did you call John 11 times that night? And don't you dare tell me it was no fucking butt dial, because it was not. And after you called him 11 times, after you just told me you had seen him outside, why didn't you go look and check and see where he went? Why didn't y'all call Karen to say, hey, where are you? Because we know Brian Higgins got the number. Hey, did y'all leave? I've been calling John. He not answering. You ain't even text Karen. You didn't even text Karen. All of this shit is why the logic beats up delusion in my head all the time. And I don't understand how you think you're winning this case. All of these questions now can be asked without an objection, speculation, blah, blah, blah. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. I can ask these questions and you're going to have to come up with an answer for them. And let me tell you, when you're lying, it's very hard to keep that shit straight after years and after you've been questioned a different way 3 and 4 times. So when they're questioning them and they say, can I show you prior testimony? What is Jen going to say when she switched up her story yet again? Yet again. And Brian Albert and Nicole Albert ain't told that story in a couple of years, so they really can't remember what they said on the stand. They probably back watching their previous testimony right now. Somebody go check their YouTube description, because I bet you they on court TV watching what they said right now and learning it verbatim like a script, practicing like they on stage at Hamilton. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Let this woman rest, Peggy. Let this woman rest. Just let it go. Let everything rest. Move on. How much money do you think you're going to get? How much money do you think you're going to get, and where you going to get it from? Everybody knows that first trial wipes Karen out. Where you getting this money from? Ain't this too much stress on the old woman? Do you really need your heart to be going through this? You don't want these palpitations. Let it go. Seek help. Seek help. And if you're not going to let it go, you should be the one to add the rest of these people to your case. You should be the one to add the rest of these people to your case. Do y'all really? Now, I have a question. Do y'all really think that Peg really wholeheartedly believes that those other people have absolutely nothing to do with it? Or do you think she's just not saying it out loud? The logic that fights in my brain won't allow me to believe that anybody with a functioning nervous system could actually believe they had nothing to do with it. Even the Karen Reed is guilty people. But I'm wondering if she just, that's what it is, Crystal. I think she just doesn't want to believe it. But I know it got to be jumping on her nerve every time she see one of them, right? You think she must be moving forward, Kelly? I mean, I just can't. To me, it's giving keep your enemies close. Was she keeping them damn close? She keeping them damn close. Because at this point, if you're gonna go civil trial, you go balls to the wall. I'm adding all of you bitches. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Because at this point, I'm going to find out what happened. If that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, is it just money at this point? It can't be money. I'm sure John had life insurance. I'm sure he had a nice little pension. What you need some more money for? I mean, I guess everybody could do with more money. But I'm just saying, I'm putting cases on all you bitches then. I'm putting case on all you bitches, everybody, every single one of y'all. Because the intentional infliction of the emotional distress should come from Jen McCabe. That's where and emotional distress should come from. Should come from Carrie Roberts, because I'm sure she was in that car when she went to pick Peggy up, acting a motherfucking fool. That's where the distress should come from. You don't think it's money at all, Regina? What do you think it is? What do you think it is? I think they just hate Karen to the pits of their soul. I think they hate her to the pits of their soul. And they want everything terrible for her life. Because if it's not, if I would give it, it's not money, then I would want it to be, I want to find out what happened to my son. But if you want to do that, then you add every single person who was the witness, you add them. You add every single person that was at 34 Fairview that night, you add them to your case. Because I want to know what happened to my son. And eventually, I'm going to put the pieces together. Eventually, I'm going to put the pieces together. Because what is your... I mean, we know what their case is. She hit him. She left him. Then she went home. But on her way home, she was calling and cussing them out. I'm going to tell you right now, if I hit somebody and thought they was dead, I'm not calling them to cuss them out. That's not what you do. You pretend. You say, oh, okay, well, dropped you off at the party. I'm going to go home. I don't feel well. Tell everybody I said hi. That's what you do. If you think you killed them, if you hit them and killed them, you don't call them and say, I fucking hate you. You know how when you do that, if a motherfucker get out your car and slam the door, that's when you skirt off and you say, you know what? I have to call this and cuss his ass out. Not, oh snap, I hit him. Let me call and cuss him out. No, you call and lay your foundation. And then you make sure you're not the one to find his fucking body. Like, either Karen is the smartest murderer in the world. And I mean, God damn it, somebody need to, smarter than Wendy Adelson. I crack myself up. Either she's the smartest murderer in the world, who knows exactly where to put the issues and exactly where to put the things you absolutely can't prove, or it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. If she set this up like the way they're thinking she had to, set it up so that Kelly Dever would say they were in the Sallyport for a weirdly long time. Set it up so that John would have dog scratches on his arm. Set it up so that nobody coming out of that house would see him. Nobody coming out of that house would see him. Set it up so that it was Jen and Carrie that come get her to help her find them. Like, she would have to be the smartest murderer in the world, or it doesn't make any sense. Set it up just so that they wouldn't find any tail pieces that night. Tail light pieces that night. No big, huge, saucer-sized light pieces are right in front of John that night. Set it up so that the library camera that would have caught her driving away didn't work. Set it up so that the Sallyport cameras were just so happened to be flipped the wrong way. Set it up exactly, Ellie. Kidnap Jen's phone and make How Long to Die in the Cold just so happen to disappear at the precise time she needs it to. Like, she'd have to be so, like, she'd have to, like, is she a chess player? Because this is one of those times where you're not only a murderer, you have to guess 6 steps ahead what everybody's going to do. You have to know that Michael Proctor is going to get in his text messages and call you all type of names and say all type of shit that he's not supposed to be saying to add all type of doubt to your case. I mean, all of this had to be perfectly set in motion. You actually believe that? Either she's the best murderer in the world or she's the luckiest person in the world. And I'm going to need her Mega Million numbers right now. Because everything had to fall perfectly into place for her. For this to have been her doing. And I mean perfectly into the puzzle pieces without one that wiggles. Without even one that wiggles. Had to fall perfectly into place for her. And I just don't even understand how a person with half a gnat's brain would really truly believe that it was Karen and Karen alone. Sell me a piece of the delusion. Hi, numbers. Sell me a piece of the delusion, Miss Peg. It's given that John's brother is what can't think of his name, but Adelson. They got the same relationship. The boys is just real deep in with the mama. Because no, man. Peggy seemed like she run that household with an iron fist. She seemed like she run that household with an iron fist, and I'm going to pay good American doll hairs to see every single one of those depositions. I hope they're recorded, and I will sit down and watch them with popcorn like a movie. Popcorn in a notepad. I can't wait. And I know Alan Jackson can't wait to get his hands on Brian Albert and Jim McCabe without the protection of Kim Jong-un. Oh, I know he can't wait. Oh, it probably gives him wet dreams. This trial is going to take forever because, again, if he pulls them in, they got to get lawyers, 10 separate lawyers who are going to be filing their own motions. This they everybody got to respond to. If I was Peg's lawyer, I'd be like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Listen, man. When you came to me, we had 3 defendants. Now we got 13, and I don't got the time, the patience, or the money. Okay? Because whatever payout you're going to get is not going to be worth it. If you think you're going to get a payout, I suspect you're not. I suspect you're not. But any payout you might get, it's not going to be worth it. It's not going to be worth it. After all of this, for years. For years, this is going to take. Years. Which is why, did y'all notice that little tidbit of all the lawyers on the defense side were like, no, we want to do it in person. No, I'm going to make this very inconvenient for you. Because it's 12 of us. We all of us ain't got to come every time. But it's what, like 2 or 3 of y'all over there? Gonna make your life a living hell. Hope your firm got 30 other lawyers that's making money. Because every time we're gonna make y'all come in here. And every time we're gonna have a new motion we gotta file, we're gonna file this, and we're gonna file this brief, we're gonna file this brief, and you better respond. And you better respond. And even if y'all win some money, this is the correct thing, numbers. Even if you win, now we got 3 years of appeals before you ever see a dime. Before you ever see a dime. You got too much time on your hands, and I suspect not enough health. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying we are human. And you're a little up there, Peggy. Is this how you want to spend your last days? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would want to lay my son to rest and move on with my grandchildren. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know Welsher's emotional support laptop. I don't know. I don't know. I think he's thinking, like I said before, that he doesn't need as much. He doesn't need as much. He doesn't have as much of a burden. You need 51%. You just need a more likely than not. But I don't even think you get more likely than not with this set of facts. I don't even think you get more likely than not. You have two biomechanical chemistry brain surgeons telling you this doesn't make sense. There was no collision with the car. It doesn't make sense. I've tried it 100 different ways and I can't even get any part of it. Doesn't make sense. You got medical examiners, top medical examiners in the world telling you those scratches on that arm are dog bites. And that man wasn't hit by a car. Even Aperture, you're going to have to show him the x-rays that he just didn't happen to see. Now you see them. You're telling me this man got hit by a car and he don't even have a hairline fracture, not even a bruise. Now here's your x-rays you didn't see. You don't even get 51%. So I don't know what their lawyer is thinking. I don't know what their lawyer is thinking. If he would have been the one to add the McCabe's, the Alberts, the Tullys and Buchanans and Proctors, if he would have been the one to add all of them, I would have said, okay. Then it would have shown in my mind that maybe this isn't so much about the money and maybe this is more about them trying to figure out what happened to John. You only having Karen in there and the waterfall and C.F. McCarthy's feels like you're trying to get some money from all the wrong people. From all the wrong people. Because what the hell the bar got to do with it? Did you not hear those people say she didn't look drunk at all? She looked absolutely fine. So what the hell you want them to do? Mind you, I don't even think she bought any of her own drinks. So you don't know what she drank or not because she didn't come up there and buy anything. You can see the drinks in her hand, but you know how many times I buy a drink, sit it down, got to buy another one because, I don't want to be roofy. And then y'all talking about that we're going to call it 2 drinks because she poured a shot in the drink, but them drinks be weak. That's why you got to pour a shot in the drink. So really, she probably only had a shot and a half. Because those mixed drinks be weak. That's why I need a shot on the side. But nobody said she was drunk. No one said she was drunk. Even the cop that got in the car with her. The cop who got in the car with her didn't think she was drunk. Your son didn't think she was drunk. You had a federal agent didn't think she was drunk. Who actually was trying to fuck with her. So if he thought he could get off with saying she drunk, he probably would have. Just to get on her fucking nerves. So what do you want these bars to do? I think so, Montana Lil. I think they were hoping for a quick payout, but you should know Karen by now. You know she ain't took. You know she not laying down for your horse. So what are you doing? You know she not laying down for your horse. I went to trial twice on you bitches. You think I'm about to give you some money? Are you crazy? Like, what is happening? Maybe she thought the bars were going to be a quick settle. But why would they do that? Why would they do that? That would open them up to litigation for everybody who's ever left the bar and did anything, whether they were drunk or not. No, I'm not settling this case. Why would I do that? Yes, Sarah. Trust me, I know. When you drink often, you build up a tolerance. Just saying, can't nobody hang with me. That's all I'm saying. It's just the level of delusion you must have to continue this farce. The level of anger and vengeance. And I just, that whole family needs therapy. Is everybody in therapy? Who's the therapist? Because everybody needs therapy. They need somebody to tell them, listen, you got to let this go. You have to let this go so that you can move on. You have to let this go so that you can move on. Dragging this out and having to relive every time your son died. I just wouldn't want to do that part. I wouldn't want to do that part of it. I don't want to keep hearing how he was laying in the snow all by himself. I don't want to keep seeing the pictures of him with his eyes big. And I don't want to keep seeing the pictures of his foot just laying there. I just don't want to. I just wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to keep having my grandchildren relive the fact they learned their uncle was there. I just wouldn't want to. It's not that. I just would not have. It ain't strength. It's not strength. I was gonna say it's a strength. No, it's delusion. It's audacity. It's who this bitch thinks she is energy. That if you watch Sister Wives, then you know this is hilarious. I just want them to go to bed. I want them to go to bed. On a side note, thinking about Michael Proctor, I don't know why it just popped in my head. I just want to say this real quick before I get off of here. Is anybody keeping up still with the Miles King, Brian Walsh discovery debacle over there? They still haven't gotten the text messages from Proctor. I've been keeping up. I haven't been coming on to talk about it, but I've been keeping up. And put my conspiracy theory hat on for this one. Because this bothers me. That judge over there bothers me. I did like him at the beginning when he let her question Lally. But then he started to get on my nerves. I feel like somebody after that day told him, what were you doing? What were you thinking? We don't do that. Get this back in order. Because, yes, they are back in court this week. I feel like somebody tapped him on the shoulder and said, get this in order. We don't do that. Don't let her question him anymore. Because he constantly defers to the prosecution. And that bothers me because they're the ones who are dragging their ass. Why are you giving them so much time to do something they should have done years ago? But here's my conspiracy theory. So what they want is Michael Proctor's, they want the full breadth of Michael Proctor's text messages because they believe that just like he was talking about Karen Reed, setting Karen Reed up, he was probably talking about setting the rest of them up. And here's what. Alan Jackson has seen these text messages, and so has the prosecution, or at least Lally and what's her face. The judge asked them, the prosecutors, way back when, maybe in one of the other hearings, he asked them, well, if there's nothing in there, you can just tell me that. If there's nothing in there that relates to these cases, we can move on. They won't say that. What they'll say is, well, we can't unseal. I don't know what we can answer. I don't know what we can answer. They've seen those messages. If there was nothing in there, they would just say that. Like, there's nothing in these text messages that relate to either of these cases judges. And because this judge is so prosecution up their ass, he would believe them without even looking at them. He would just take their word for it. Here's why they won't say it. This is just my conspiracy theory now. Got on my conspiracy theory hat. This is why they won't say it. Because Alan Jackson has seen those text messages. I believe, now this is not state sanctioned information. I believe Alan Jackson told Miss Capicia, hey, if I was you, I would get those text messages. I don't know if that to be true. I don't know that to be true. But I feel like, because Alan Jackson can't give them to her because they're under federal lock and key, basically. The prosecutor won't straight up say there's nothing in there. Lowry has seen them, so he can be like, there's nothing in here. And I think had nobody else seen them, they would lie. But I think they know that Alan Jackson put a little bird in her ear and say, hey, if I was you, you know, Alan Jackson came over there in a dark hat and a hoodie with some sunglasses on and said, you ain't heard this from me, but you should probably get those taken back. Because they are fighting tooth and nail. And if there was nothing that they needed, I feel like the prosecutors would be like, we're doing all of this, and I've seen these messages, I've read them back and forth. There's nothing there's nothing else. There's nothing that's going to help them with this case. There's nothing in those messages that they need. I want to know what they got going on this week. And if that judge allows them to just say words, it's going to piss me off, because that's what I feel like he just allows them to say words. Well, we've been having talks. What does that mean? What do you mean you've been having talks? Tell them we got a trial about to come up and we need these messages unsealed. Or even not unsealed, we just need her to look at them and decide whether or not she wants to use them, and then we'll deal with the rest later. Y'all don't even want her to look at them. Y'all want her to give up the fight. That's my conspiracy. Y'all want her to be like, you know what? This is taking too long. I don't want to do it anymore. But she ain't going to do that. You know why? Because Miss Capiccio heard from Alan Jackson. You might want to get those text messages. I don't know that to be true. Don't hold my feet to the fire. But I just feel like it is. I just feel like it is. I just feel like the way that Miss Capiccio was fighting and the way that the prosecutor won't just say these messages really don't affect these cases, even though I know they've seen them. I don't know that to be true. Because technically, Alan Jackson ain't supposed to say nothing about the messages. He can't give them up there under federal lock and key. They released them for his trial, but he's not supposed to say nothing. That's why I think he came over there in the hat and the hoodie and glasses and tapped his foot on the floor. Get those messages, girl. Specifically, get the ones from January and I don't know that to be true. I'm not trying to put nobody in no type of mess. I'm not trying to question the moral or ethics or any of these amazing attorneys. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think these attorneys are very ethical. They would never do anything like that. But I think Alan Jackson hates everybody in Massachusetts with a deep and sincere passion. And I think he hates Michael Proctor even more. And I think whatever he can do to ruin his reputation, his legacy, his job, his life, Alan Jackson is going to be there. Michael Proctor, you say? What did you say? Huh? He's got time today. He's got time today. I don't think Alan Jackson hopped on this civil trial for Karen. I think he said, are you going to add Michael Proctor to it? Well, then I'm there. This is true. Break out. That's her name, McLaughlin. She's seen them. She knows what's in them. She could easily come up there and say, there's nothing in these text messages that relate to either of these two defendants. She's not going to say that because she knows that that whole defense team over there has seen them and they will be able to call her a liar. But I'm sure if it was just them, if nobody else has seen them but the prosecutors, they would say that with their full chest and be lying and hope that nobody ever found out. And then when they did, they will be like, oh, we didn't know. Maybe we overlooked it. But here you go now. But they know that the defense team knows. And we all know. Alan Jackson told Capriccio, get those messages, girl. You're gonna need them. Anywho, let me get off of here and go to work. In the meantime, in between time, we are going to send out a beacon of hope that the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future come visit Peg tonight and make her drop this frivolous lawsuit so that Karen can finally rest. Put this behind her. I'm sure she like, I was about to break up with this motherfucker. I wouldn't have never said his name this many times if he was still alive. I just want to go away and never hear from these people again. She just can't. She just can't. I mean, I would just be so defeated. So we're going to big up Karen because she needed for years. It's like she can't even stop thinking about this for at least 2-3 more years. I would just want to pull my hair out. I just want to just pull my hair out dealing with these people. Ugh. Anywho, y'all have a great day. I hope y'all have a happy Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. Should I make tacos today? Or should I buy tacos today? Because, you know, it's only me and the little one here now that the oldest one's gone off to college. And it's very hard to cook for us 2 people because neither of us like leftovers and neither of us eat that much. So it's very hard to cook for us. But we may eat tacos. It's Libra season. Both my babies are Libras. Both of them are Libras. So we're going to celebrate the Libras. It's just a little bit. My baby will be 18 this year. I don't know what that's about. Because in my mind, she's still 4. So, you know how that goes. What do you mean you're 18? Like, please don't think you're grown. You still have to ask me to go somewhere. Okay? I'm just saying. And my other baby will be 5. I don't know. I'm going to let them have their season. Let them have their Libra season. But that Scorpio wind is blowing. It's blowing. I can feel it on the back of my neck. Then it's going to be my turn. And then, we don't even have to talk about it right now. Because, I'm whatever they told you about Scorpios, believe all that shit. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all have a good day. Y'all take care of yourselves and each other. Happy birthday, Army Twist Incident, baby, 27. I'm sure he's still 6 in your head. Y'all have a good day. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.